you are an avid listener of classical jazz, or you simply hear the most recent hits at the rack as you walk by, music has an effect on your everyday life. Music can be thought of as the soundtrack of our lives. It is present when we are young, and as we age, our tastes in music change, but it's still present. You may have even tried to play a musical instrument when you were young, but you may have given up due to the stresses involved with learning. Stress from playing a musical instrument can involve the little improvement that you might see at first, and it might also involve the time consumption that it requires in order to play a musical instrument. But just because it's difficult doesn't mean it's impossible. Today, I'm going to explain to you the basic steps to successfully learning a musical instrument and how to stick with it over time. At some point in your life, you have probably heard a song that you thought was great. It was fantastic, it was fun, and it may have even inspired you to want to learn a musical instrument. But due to the stress involved with learning a musical instrument, it may have kept you from trying. By following a couple of simple steps, it is not too late to learn. I have 10 years of experience playing different types of musical instruments, and I have also been a music major on campus for multiple years. I know the most effective methods to learn a musical instrument, and I've also done a lot of research into the various methods that you can use to learn a musical instrument. Specifically today, I'm going to address the beginning items that you'll need, how to begin the process of learning, and how to keep up your motivation over time. As with any process, I will start with the first step, and that is going to be to obtain the items that you will need. The first item that you're going to need is the musical instrument. It is not necessary to buy a multi-$1,000 professional instrument to begin with. All you need is a basic student model that works for you. It's better to stay in your price range rather than to spend too much money on an instrument that you can't afford. You'll also need the accessory materials, such as guitar picks, saxophone, reeds, and musical books in order to learn. The second and the most important item in this process, in my opinion, is to get a good instructor who is familiar with your chosen instrument of choice. It is possible to learn without an instructor, but it can be very difficult. According to Frontiers in Psychology in 2019, the aid of an instructor actually allows you to rapidly learn basics of a musical instrument compared to just learning on your own. After you obtain all the necessary materials that you're going to need to play the instrument, it's time to start the second step of the process, which is actually to learn the musical instrument. In order to learn, you must play and practice on a regular basis. This begins to be the part where frustration can set in for people, because stress can begin to build to our busy lifestyles and our schedules. This might keep us from practicing on a regular basis, but it is critical to practice on a regular basis because otherwise you will not learn the instrument. According to Nature in 2007, with regular practice, your muscle memory for the instrument will improve, and the synapses in your brain related to motor skills and auditory cues will strengthen. It's also important to keep in mind that practicing an instrument, it won't make you better overnight, so it's a long-term process. Even though practicing on a regular basis can be hard, it is important to be efficient when you practice to make the most of your time when you practice. A frequent beginner mistake is repeating the same sequence over and over until you just temporarily learn it. This only leads to short-term gains and doesn't actually affect you in the long term. According to Frontiers in Psychology, practicing a specific sequence in multiple different ways by varying the pattern leads to quicker learning and longer-term retention of practice material. Once you have begun to practice on a regular basis, you are well on your way to learning a musical instrument. The last step of the process is to retain your motivation over time. As beginners practice their instrument, they can frequently get frustrated due to lack of results, and they may eventually even give up. Whenever this happens, it is important to look back at the original motivation for wanting to learn your musical instrument. And once you have done that, you should set an achievable goal that you can quickly accomplish. If a method is not working for you, it may be time to try another method. Everyone learns music differently, whether it's by listening and then playing it back or by reading a book. So once you find the method that works best for you, it'll be more fun and keep you more motivated. You can also retain your motivation by reminding yourself of the mental and physical benefits that come from learning a musical instrument. According to Psychology of Music in 2014, these benefits range from increasing fine motor skills, improving cognitive ability, and even increasing your general happiness. Practicing the night before an exam may even work to improve your exam score the next day. And once you're more familiar with your musical instrument, it can also be a powerful method for relaxing and calming yourself down. Overall, these 3 steps provide a solid outline for anyone who is interested in learning the basics of the musical instrument. Even though learning can be stressful and maybe even a bit intimidating, it is very doable and it can benefit you in a wide variety of ways. As long as you follow the three main steps of obtaining the necessary items, beginning the process of learning, and finding the motivation to continue, you can be successful at learning a musical instrument. From my own personal experience, I can say that learning a musical instrument is one of the most fulfilling things I have ever done. It challenges you to persevere and learn more about yourself, and it also gives you the ability to influence the emotions and souls of other people. Music is the universal language of mankind, and even though it is difficult to learn, learning that language is one of the most rewarding things a person can ever do.